Good morning, Tracy. Hi, Roberta. Janine. There's Yvonne. Hey, Darth. Yeah, everything's going off all at once here. Must mean it's 11 o'clock, time to start the live stream. Actually, I'm actually starting it like a minute or two early now, so you get the whole effect of hearing the clocks go off. Yeah, exactly. It's like the opening of Back to the Future. And can you believe it's going to get worse? Because when I get the clock that normally goes, sorry, I can't, the one that normally goes on that shelf right there, when you get that one going, that one chimes at the hour too. When I get that one back, there are going to be four of them going off at the same time. Yeah, yeah, that's true. It does sound like the opening of time. Also, you're right. Actually, I had a friend that had recorded that sound and used that for their waking up, for their alarm in the morning. Yeah, I know. I could just put this brush up and I wouldn't have to do anything. Just hang it on a wall or something. This is where he'd just spend the rest of his life. Hey, Lindex. Yeah, it does look a little pink. I don't know why that is. It isn't really pink. The lights are on, and I don't know. It's just, I guess it looks pink on camera. Maybe if I change the angle, it might change a little bit, but it's actually just kind of a warm incandescent light. It's actually a halogen light. I have a clock radio too, but I don't know. I'm not on full blast. I want to be woken up gently, not kind of jarred back into consciousness. Nothing going on in the kitchen right now. I don't know. We'll just kind of park the money and decide what we're going to do at some point. Haven't decided what I'm going to do on the 4th. I'm off of work, so this is an extra long week. This is normally my long weekend, um, but I get Thursday off this week too because we're off on the 4th. I've always been kind of a night person, and so I was really concerned about taking a job where I had to be at work at 7 in the morning, uh, because that meant I had to get up at 5:30 in the morning or something like that to get ready, and I just wasn't sure I could do it. But I don't know. As I've gotten more used to it, my body's kind of adapted to it now, and now I actually start waking up a half hour or so before the alarm goes off. So No, there wasn't a parade that went next to my house. Went in front. I wish there would be. Yeah, there is going to be a they're going to do their annual Fourth on the Brazos again. Uh, but I don't know if I'm going to go this year. It's going to be too hot out there. I mean, granted, it was, I went a couple years ago and saw the Commodores. It was really hot that day too, but I really wanted to see the Commodores, and I was glad I did. But there's this year they got a guy who used to sing for Journey, and it's not the original singer. It's some guy that kicked in after he left, and I guess he's going to sing a bunch of Journey songs. And I don't know if it was actually Journey, I might go, because I liked them back in the day. They had a couple of good albums, but no, I didn't watch the debate. Didn't feel the need to watch CNN try and throw the debate for Biden because that's what happened. Hey Dot, how are you? I was at work actually when it happened, and I don't have TV anyway, so I don't think the Democrats have any choice. They're going to have to replace him. At this point, he cratered in the polls after the debate because apparently he did so badly. Everybody can see it now. Even CNN was you know saying there's a problem here. The problem though is Biden isn't the problem. What that debate, from my understanding of how bad it was, like I said, I haven't heard any clips, I haven't anything on that, but from what I heard, Biden was just a disaster. And you got to ask yourself, if Biden can't even do that, who is it that's actually running things right now? Because he's clearly not fit to be president. And and if that's how he handles himself at a debate, you can only imagine, that he's just not in a position to be doing this. And then you got to wonder who is. And if they swap out somebody else, like Gavin Newsom, for instance, the same people are going to be whispering in his ear. They're whispering in Biden's ear. The problem isn't Biden senile. The problem is the political philosophy is flawed. And I've said this before. Jill is the most contemptible person there, because how can a loving wife look at her husband and see Biden the way as bad as he is, and not say, Joe, come on, we can't do this. We're not going to, I'm not going to let you be humiliated on the world stage like this. She's a disgusting individual for doing that, putting her own ego and her own desire to be treated like royalty ahead of the health and well-being of her husband. But I mean, that whole family is really messed up. And even when Biden had his marbles, he was still kind of a creepy kind of a person, a liar and a racist. He is whatever he had to be to get elected. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Hunter's a crackhead. I mean, they never figured out who that cocaine belonged to. I'll give you two guesses who it belonged to. Well, that's it. And I keep hearing people try and dismiss it that Biden has always been a little forgetful and stuff like that. But no, he isn't. You can go listen to him from, even 5 or 10 years ago, and he sounded very coherent. I mean, he still spouted a bunch of stupid racist stuff, but there's a very clear decline. Well, honestly, I don't know what to think. The guy should get out, but if they do pull him out, what's going to end up happening is they'll put somebody else in. They'll make the argument that, well, all the problems that happened in the last 4 years were just because Biden was had dementia and wasn't able to, deal with the issue. This time we'll get it right, and there's a lot of people that'll believe him. Your sister was at the White House wedding of Hunter's daughter. Is that the daughter he acknowledges or the one he doesn't acknowledge? No, Kamala would be even worse. No, I think they're gonna, because she's not popular either. That she doesn't poll very well either because she's completely useless. What has she done? What's her big accomplishment being vice president? I don't know. The oldest daughter, okay. Well, the youngest one is only a couple of years old, right? So obviously she didn't get married. Although in that family, you never know. I mean, she's supposed to be in charge of the border. What's she done on the border? Yeah. No, they're not going to put her up. No, well, I started one this week, but I didn't get it finished. I'm going to try and finish it this week, and there'll be a couple of them. Basically, and this actually started from a viewer who made a comment when I built the mineral case for the display case for my minerals. That one right there. They pointed out that you got that thing filled up already. You just got it, you just finished it, and you've already got it filled up. Now what? You're going to stop collecting? And that person kind of followed up and said, you know, you've got that desk over there that I don't ever see you use, and you're right, I don't ever use it. You ought to, and she suggested I retrofit that and put more rocks and minerals in there. So I actually started doing that this last week, and I'm going to finish that up. Actually, you can see I've already got the shelves already cut. That's what that wood is on the front there. So I'm going to put like one shelf there and two of them below, and then light that up the way I did the mineral case behind here. And that's going to give me a lot more display space. Yeah, rest in peace, Martin Mull. Well, I've seen him other places than on Roseanne too. I don't remember. I'd have to go look up in IMDb to see if what it is, because I knew the name and I knew it more from just Roseanne. So yeah, it'll stay right where it is, right there. That's the perfect place for that. It's a nice little corner there, and I've got electricity back there, and hides the air conditioner vent return. So that's the perfect place for that thing. Yeah, I didn't watch Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman, but I saw him. I've seen him in other things, and I just don't know what it is. Well, actually, I got almost a truckload of rocks just last week at the rock store. I'd been looking at this piece for some time. It's called a grape agate, and I thought that was really kind of cool looking. Like I said, I've been watching that in the store and thinking, okay, I got to add that to my collection at some point. And this past week, I did. There's something that I'm still kind of waiting for them to get shipped to them that I'm going to get at some point. They didn't have it yet, and so I got that. And then I got this piece, and this piece is pretty cool because right now, pound for pound, this is the most expensive piece I have. Now, granted, those big quartz clusters were twice as expensive as that, but that thing's the size of a dime. But that's really cool. That piece is really kind of rare, which is why it's kind of expensive. This is a piece of what they call moldavite, and what moldavite is it's a rock that exists one place in the world that was caused by a meteor impact 15 million years ago, and the heat and the energy turned the surrounding sand into green, kind of translucent glass. And that's what that is. You can see it is kind of translucent. You can see through it. So, that's pretty cool. And I like things that are like, you know, um, space related too. So I have a few meteorites and stuff like that in my collection. So that's a really kind of cool piece of space rock. Well, not really space rock, but caused by space rock. And I ended up bringing home what 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pieces with me that day. Uh, and I thought and it was funny because they just worked me a big deal. They got apparently, according to Kara, um, they recently got a collection of rocks from an estate sale. Just a husband and wife team had always loved rocks, and they'd go and find rocks and they'd bring it home, add them to their collection. And they didn't document what they had, and so she just had a couple of boxes full of rocks, and she says, I don't know what half this stuff is. I haven't had a chance to figure it out, but if you want, I'll sell you anything in there for $15 a piece, or I'll give you one of the boxes for $50. And then she sweetened the pot even a little bit more and says, you can mix them and match them. Pick the ones that you want, and put in the box you want, and you can have them for $50. So I got a bunch of things that, like I said, I'm not even sure what some of it is, but that was kind of cool because it has some like cubic crystals in it, uh, which are really kind of cool. You can see one of them right there is kind of glowing a little bit. I thought that was really pretty. And I picked this one. This is another one that's very similar with the cubic crystals. Like I said, I'm not sure what this stuff is. We're gonna have to do a little research and figure it out. But that was pretty cool. And I got that, and that's kind of pretty cool too. I like that. I like the kind of the green crystals on that. And this one kind of caught my eye, and so I picked that one up. I like kind of the green tint to that. But look at all the like crystal stuff going on in there. You know, a lot of this stuff looks really, really gorgeous under white light. And that's something I got, which I thought was really kind of cool. You know, you look at it from the other side, it really doesn't look like much. I do kind of like how there's a hole in there that goes all the way through. I see you. Yeah, that was my romper room moment. I got that, and that was kind of cool. Like I said, all this stuff was just in the in the box, and they just said, yeah, just pick the ones you want, put them in the box, and they'll sell you the whole box for $50. So that was kind of cool. And then this was the last piece I got, and I thought that was kind of cool too. It's got kind of a gray, green, blackish color to it, with lots of little crystal activity going on there. Like I said, that's something else. I have no idea what it is. We're gonna have to figure it out. Big old nasty crystal right there. I gotta get that label off. Apparently that'll come off with acetone. Some people, they mark their rocks like that. No, none of this stuff glows. That's not what this is about. I do like the stuff that glows. You know that. Yeah, I never watched Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I was aware of it because I was a huge Bewitched fan. Yeah, it does look a little like concrete or here, but yeah, I don't know. It's just some unremarkable rock with really really pretty crystals in it. You never know what you're going to see in some of these rocks because look at all the pretty stuff inside that. So get it twisted around here. That's one of the things I kind of look forward to. I like things that like sparkle. You know, if you walk by that display case in the back behind me there with uh, the lights on it, it every just about everything in there is like sparkling, and when you go by it, when you walk by it. I gotta admit, I never really picked up on the fact that there were two Darrens when I was watching the show, and I haven't watched the show and probably since it was on the air, and so I don't know if I have an opinion which one was my favorite. Yeah, I know. It disgusts me when I pull up some of my videos too to watch, and a Joe Biden ad comes in with them. One of these days, I might actually put a little disclaimer in front of my video that it says, "Hey, if that was a Joe Biden ad you watched before you get in here, I'm not on board with that guy." I don't know how much vacation time I have. I'd have to look it up. Enough that I could definitely take some time off. definitely want to do that this year. I'm thinking of doing something maybe this fall. I'm definitely going to do if I go anywhere, I'm going to go to Yellowstone. There's no question about it. And now that I've got a little bit more money coming in and can be a little bit more uh, extravagant, I think I'm going to probably stay in the park and kind of maybe treat myself a little bit. For the last 10 or 15 years, I've kind of learned to live on a budget. And so even when I went to California, both for the funeral and to visit my mom a couple of years ago, I just went real kind of cheap hotel and stuff like that. $50 a night, something just a place that I can sleep and then get going again. But I don't know, I may live it up a little bit. Yeah, I think I'll stay away from the bison though and the bears. I don't think they're very friendly at Yellowstone. The tomatoes are going to town. The tomato plants are all up to the trellis on the top now, and many of them are like the plants are 8 feet tall. They're going to start having to lean over now. Well, I think another advantage, John, that comes with staying in the park is I'm not going to have to travel into the park from wherever it is I am staying every day, and so that'll free me up some time to you know explore the park more because the park is huge and there's all sorts of things to see. And so, yeah, I definitely want to spend some time in there. So yeah, stay tuned. That'll be a series of vlogs at some point. No, I probably won't freeze or can any of my tomatoes. They don't generally last long. I love tomatoes, and if I get the little ones, a lot of times they don't even make it in the house. It's just right off the bush and into my mouth. Uh, but if I get a good harvest of them, then we'll put them in some salads or use them in some recipes. But even the beefsteak tomatoes, the big ones that I get, um, I'll just put those in the fridge and I'll pull them out and cut them into slices and just eat them while I'm watching TV at night. I don't know if I'll camp out or not. I may bring my camping stuff and maybe, depending on the weather, spend a night out or something. But I don't know at this point. Like I said, it all depends on what the weather is. I'm thinking of going in the fall, so we hopefully get past the summer heat, and it'll be nice to be out there. That's one of the things I got to do is kind of explore what the weather is around the year that there. So I've got to do some research on it, but I want to go, and I'm going to drive there, and I'm going to drive back. And the beauty is, if I take my 3 day week off of work, I get 10 days off. So yeah, we have KFC in Waco. Had them in California too. I like it. It's flavorful, but it's also kind of greasy. But we have Popeyes and what was the other one? Um, Churches, Churches chicken. Oh, that's a Daniel Johnson T-shirt. He's a musician who passed away a few years ago. Jordan's really into him. Jordan got me into him, and in fact, one of the times Jordan was here, we went down to Austin and went to a mural on a wall. I think outside a record store that was dedicated to him because he was raised in Austin and was an eccentric mental patient of all things. In fact, I heard a story once. I've got a documentary called the Devil and Daniel Johnson. I think it's what it's called, and it tells a story once where he was committed into a mental institution, and they accidentally let him out one day. And that night he headlined it, what, CBGB's or something like that, some music club. I always thought that was one of my favorite lines from a rock documentary. He'd accidentally let out of a mental hospital and go do a concert. Yeah, we have churches, we have Popeyes, and we have KFC here. I'm not really one for going to fast food anymore. I used to do that a lot more. I just kind of prefer to cook on my own. I don't even go eat at restaurants except when I'm doing a vlog on it. But you might remember about a year ago, I did a comparison between churches and Popeyes to see which was best. And honestly, I wasn't really impressed with either of them. KFC is better. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about Katie in a while. Yeah, when I did that one on the churches and Popeyes comparison, I'd never been to either of them. No, nothing's happening with the cabinets right now. Like I said, last couple of weeks I've been asked about that, and basically, what's happening is that I had three contractors come out and look at the job in order to give me a bid. The first one gave me a bid of about what I expected. Give me a verbal bid about what I expected to pay for it, but he never followed up with a written bid. And honestly, he was kind of my first choice. He was the one I would have gone with. The second person came in. They gave me a bid that was so ridiculously low that I questioned whether they're going to do quality or not. And then the third one kept trying to tie her own cabinet maker with it, and that cabinet maker wanted to paint the cabinets rather than have them have that finish that you get from professional cabinet makers. So I don't know. I would still maybe consider her and her company, but I'd want to see what the cabinets look like that they're talking about, and B, I'd want to know that she'd take the job even if it was decoupled from her cabinet maker, if she'd just do the install. I mean, the bid from this other cabinet maker and the install was less than just the bid for the cabinets from Home Depot. So that also makes me question it. It's like, I expect, you pay for quality and you tend to get what you pay for. And if you get something that's so ridiculously low, you got to question that. If it's too good, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So I don't know. We'll see. It's going to happen at some point. It's just when and where. Well, that's it. Last time I had fast food was when I was in California for my mom's funeral, and one night I decided, I we don't have Carl's Jr. here. I don't know if most of you know what that is. I think a lot of the rest of the United States, it's basically the same restaurant that people call Hardee's, but in California it's called Carl's Jr. And I used to be a huge fan of Carl's Jr. And we don't have either Carl's Jr. or Hardee's in, well, at least this part of Texas. And so I've missed that. I've always loved their Western bacon cheeseburger. And I decided to, when I was in California for the funeral, that one night I was going to go get a Western bacon cheeseburger and have that for dinner. And I was surprised because the meal, which was basically the burger, the fries, and a large drink, was almost $20. It blew me away because I used to be able to get that same meal for $5 or $6 or $7. And when I ate it, it wasn't very good anymore. One of the things I always like about it is it was dripping in barbecue sauce. So that was what was great about it. It was the burger patties, it was onion rings, it was bacon, and it was barbecue sauce, and it was really really good, a really tasty burger. And they're skimping on it now. The burger is smaller. They're putting hardly any barbecue sauce on it at all, and I don't know. I also like Carl's Jr. Superstar. I didn't have that time though. I do like In and Out. We do have In and Out here, but honestly, I haven't been to an In and Out since I've been in Texas. Because it's not because I'm against it or have changed my mind on it. It's just I'm not eating fast food anymore. Wendy's was another burger place I like, and haven't been to a Wendy's in a long time either. Oh yeah, fried zucchini was great. Yeah, me too, Yvonne. I just make my own. Just throw them on the grill, and we're good to go. And what I like right now, what I'm doing a lot is cheeseburgers and jalapeno, and I'll slice up jalapeno slices into little, like almost like relish, and put it on top of the burger, and then put the cheese on top of that, and pair that then with a good spicy brown mustard, and man, that's good eating. Yeah, exactly, Pamela. It's a gas grill, although I do have a charcoal one too. I had a brisket sandwich at Bucky's. Yeah, it was all right. No, I don't. I don't really do onions on a whole lot. The only place I put onions is like on Mexican food. I've never been one for onions on burgers. Pickles, that's another thing. Pickles are great. In fact, I'm kind of entering a pickle mode. Been eating, snacking on just whole pickles while I'm watching movies. Emptied out a jar just in the past week. Yeah, I think you're right, Yvonne. Let's we get a new one in here. Yeah, for somebody who likes spicy stuff like me, I never developed really a taste for onions. It's good on Mexican food. I put it in my salsa, but never really developed a taste. Yeah, Monterey Jack cheese is good. Yeah, pepper jack cheese. I'm glad you like the cooking shows. Yeah, I should do more cooking ones. What do I get? I think the fat content on the ground beef I get is 85/15, so it's 15%. So it's not the really cheap stuff. It's a little bit better than that. I like sharp cheddar cheese. It isn't Gouda cheese, though, is it? I don't think so. That is a good name for a burger place. Burger Deluxe. Hello, welcome to Burger Deluxe. How may I take your order? Not making my mouth water. I do have the deep fryer, so I could do the fries. Yeah, there you go. Marketed. It's all yours, Darth. Yeah. I like sharp and extra sharp cheddar too. That's okay. We like jokes. You're from India, huh? Welcome to the live stream. Don't have a lot of people looking in from India. Indian? Is there a place called Indian? I know there's. I know that sometimes the non-political correct terms for Native Americans, but India, yeah, that's what I would explain. That's what I would expect. I don't know, but welcome to the live stream. It's always fun to see a new face in here. Yeah, you have the word vlogs in your, or no, that vlogs or is it? Yeah, it is. So, do you do a vlog? What's your vlog about? Yeah. India is pretty far away, far from Texas, definitely. Haven't made a decision on the pool, but I got to admit that we're maybe leaning away from the pool a little bit because there's one more thing I've got to deal with now, and that is the controller thing that controls where the water goes through the filter housing. That's broken too, and so if I replace the pool, I'm going to have to replace that, and that's not going to be cheap either. I think those are two of my favorites too, Tracy, because those ribs in the instant pot were wickedly good. And the homemade salsa, I still make that all the time. It was that came from a viewer who worked at a Mexican restaurant, and that was basically their house salsa. And he shared it with me, and I got to admit, initially I wasn't that excited about it, except for the fact that it had room to grow. It had room for me to modify and turn it into something I really like. I didn't think it was spicy enough, but it was the first time I'd ever made any kind of a salsa that actually resembled a salsa. And it's more of a pico de gallo than a salsa, but I really liked it and I was able to doctor it up really well. The original recipe, I think, was, uh, I don't know, just a few jalapenos and some tomatoes and some onions and some garlic. And it was all right, but it wasn't spicy enough. But, now what I do is I put 15 jalapenos, 15 serrano peppers in it, and then the onions and the tomatoes, and it is really, really good. It might have been from Bill K. I don't remember. I if it's a recipe that I was given from one of my viewers, I usually name it in the vlog. So you could go back and check it out. But yeah, I don't know. It's very possible I'll get rid of the pool. I don't know. We'll see. I got time to figure that out. I'm kind of slow when it comes to making decisions like that. I want to weigh it and make the right one. Think about it for think about it for a while and make sure it's the right decision. I mean, I'll admit that it was nice getting into the pool after a walk at night or something like that. But I went walking last night and I came home and just sat down and enjoyed watching some more of my movie. Well, one or two things is going to be in that space. We're either going to rebuild the pool there, or I want to put some fruit trees in that spot. That's an ideal spot to have trees because it gets a lot of sun in that one spot, and I think that's one of the reasons I put the pool there is because it gets a lot of sun. And I think having trees would be a little bit easier there because it's not going to the leaves from the big tree that's already out there aren't going to affect how well the little trees do, the way it affects the pool. Haven't decided exactly, but it'll probably be a peach tree and maybe a lemon or an orange tree. Something that's going to do well here. It's also got to be something that I like. And peaches are always good with me. Oranges are always good for me. Lemons, I'll use them for cooking. Hey, Elvis is in the house. All right. Elvis has entered the building. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, that was my horrible Elvis impression. What is salvageable from the old pool? The pond pump is still in good shape, so that could be used. I think the framework is in good shape. The ladder is in good shape. Uh, the filter drum is brand new, so that's okay. No, I haven't. The pool isn't necessarily out, but it's on the way out. Maybe I haven't decided, but the possibility of it coming back is decreasing a little bit because, like I said, now I got to replace the pump diverter thing because that broke. Well, the nice thing about having your own pool is, you have your own pool. You can, the time I like going in the pool is when it's nighttime. It's dark out. It's 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. It's nothing better than sitting out there on a hot summer night, in the pool, just sipping a beer. You can't do that at a community pool. Yeah, no comment, Elvis. Oh yeah, 86-degree water. I wouldn't want to be swimming in that, but that's perfect temperature for me, I think. A little cooler than the body temperature, so it does cool you off. Yeah, it's been really warm this week. I would bet you if I had water in the pool, it'd probably be in the mid 80s at least now. Yeah, it does almost become a sauna or a hot tub. Work is going really well. Yeah, it's hard work. I'm exhausted at the end of the day, but I also like the fact that I feel like I've accomplished something, and I'm learning new things all the time, so that's good. Hey, Spaniel Mom. Yeah, 68's a little cold for me. Well, Tracy's checking out. All right, good to see you, Tracy. Thanks for stopping in. No, didn't have a pool growing up. That was one of the things I think that really attracted me to this house is that it had the pool because I never had one growing up. I don't know if I call it mentally exhausting. It's a challenge because it's very important that we do the job right, and there's all sorts of little rules and regulations and stuff like that um, you got to deal with, and so many things that can go wrong and all that. Well, I work, well, it's a 12-hour a day shift, but as a lead now, I go in early and I don't leave until the work is done. So usually it's 14 hours a day, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. And it's 3 days one week, 4 days the next week. So I just got off my 4 day week. So that's a minimum of 48 hours. And, I probably put two extra per day. So that makes for nice paychecks also. I wouldn't say I'm a good swimmer. I can swim. No, that's not a troll. I don't think. I haven't been to the water at Waco, at Lake Waco for, I don't know, a couple months, but last time I checked, water levels back to maximum. In fact, I heard they opened up the dam to let some of the water out. We had so much water in there. What's the biggest problem? I would guess sometimes it's management doesn't realize that there's limits to how much we can do. Every time there's something new that happens, it's myself or the other lead that have to do it, and we're already running like crazy. Sometimes it's like, oh well, now we want you to take responsibility for that. Now we want you to take responsibility for this other thing. But eventually they'll figure it out. Good morning, Gene. Yeah, there's my buddy. You my buddy? Huh? No, I haven't seen Ron in a couple weeks. Yeah, I think I'm going to probably. I've kind of made a decision that probably in the fall I'm going to do a Yellowstone trip. Yeah, I'm not going to go too much into detail what I do, but it's manufacturing, and I'm responsible for. We have 8 lines in our department. I'm responsible for 4 of them. Hopefully, it'll be a nice series of vlogs because I want to, take some hikes. How much I love hiking. I want to go look at some of the other geysers. Everybody always thinks of Old Faithful when they, yeah. See, that's the problem when you pick bite up, you get cat hair all over the place. But there's lots of hot springs and other geysers in the park, and I want to go see some of that stuff. And I'm more interested in it now because I really kind of understand the geology behind the place. And so I'm going to look forward to explaining to you why it is such an unusual place, and then go see some of the El Capitan. Did I say Yosemite? Because the El Capitan is in Yosemite. I meant Yellowstone with all the geysers. I mean, sometimes I get Yosemite and Yellowstone mixed up. I think because they both start with Y. Oh yeah, Bite sheds a lot more in the summer. Yeah, Bite was feral when I got him too. In fact, that's how he got his name. Is when I first tried to grab him, he tried to bite me. I said Hoover bite. I don't think he likes the vacuum, so that would not be a good idea. I don't think he'd like that. Yosemite is a beautiful place. It's another place I'd like to. It's another place I'd love to vlog but I've been there a bunch of times too. Yeah, I know Jellystone. I've heard that's nice too, but there's problems with bears stealing your picnic baskets. So far, my limit on what I've spent on a single rock has been about $500. And that was that big quartz crystal cluster I bought. But I went to the rock show, with a budget of $2,000. So, that's just what I did. But if you were here at the beginning of the live stream, I showed you this, uh, and that's something I picked up just recently. That's now pound for pound the most expensive rock I own. Because I mean, this thing is tiny, and I paid $270 for that. But that's really cool. It's really rare, which is why it's so expensive. But when I was there a few weeks ago, Chris, the co-owner of the place, showed it to me and started talking to me about it. And he said, "Yeah, these things are just going like crazy. We can't keep them in stock." And I couldn't. And once I realized, you know, what it was, I realized how amazing it was, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. So when I went there last week, I had to pick up that one. That is called moldavite. And what's special about it is there's only one place in the world where you can get this. And it comes from a 15 million year old meteor impact. And the meteor hit the ground with such heat and pressure that it turned a lot of the sand on the ground into this green glass. And this green glass is now called moldavite. And so that's a pretty healthy piece of that. Well, that's one of the things I like about this place is they have good deals on things. They go out and they buy things for good prices, and then they pass the savings on to their customers. Oh yeah, if I find something cool, I'll while out and about, I would definitely bring home. I've done that before. I've found rocks when I'm out and about, and pick them up and take them with me. I'd definitely be interested in moon rocks. I mean, unless you're talking about that concentrated what marijuana stuff. I don't know. I'm not really into that, but they had an actual moon rock at the Nixon Library once that when I saw. Yeah, probably pretty expensive. Not as into the moon pies. Although I got to admit, in my entire life, I don't think I've ever had a moon pie. What are we going to do with Darth? We're going to invite him to keep coming back. I was just thinking the other day. There's like three people that come in here. It's Dot, it's Darth, and it's Peg Tooth, and I love that they come in here because they pull the conversation in such interesting directions. They take us off on such go off on such interesting tangents. So definitely love having them here. Love having all you here, but I have to love all of you. I mean, you all come back here week after week, talk to me, spend a couple hours with me on a Sunday. I enjoy doing this, talking about what's going on in my world, talking about what's going on in your world, trying to keep myself hydrated. Yeah, well, I mean, I'd love to do a meet and greet. It's just, I've tried it a couple of times and nobody's ever showed up. So, anybody wanted to set up something where they came to Waco, I'd participate in a little get together and, go show you some of the fun things, that I've seen in Waco. Go over to the Magnolia Silos if you're into that. Go to the Dr. Pepper Museum. Wander around Castle Heights, looking at some of the beautiful old houses. Talk about some of the history of the area. Go to the tornado site. And I wouldn't mind a Yellowstone meetup either. If anybody wanted to do that, it's, I'm not going to be secretive about where I'm going, and stuff like that. I'll let you know where I'm going to go, when I'm going to be there. Let me know, Elvis. Like I said, if we could, get a bunch of people to come to Waco, for a day or two, on my weekend. My weekends are, I'm always working on Saturdays, so it'll be Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. We do have concealed carry in Texas. We call it constitutional carry. Now, it would be a different thing if I was like at Yellowstone because generally they ban firearms in national parks. But well, that's the problem. You knocked. You just got to open the door and walk in. Yeah, same here in Texas. I can open or conceal carry anytime if I decide to do it. Although Waco at least is a very safe area. I've never felt the need to do it. The way I look at it, Yvonne, in terms of the right to to bear arms and to carry them with you and be either concealed or open carry, is that I believe in my heart that more people are good than there are bad people. And I think a lot of times when bad people do bad things with guns, that they do it because they want to do something bad and they want to be safe from the consequences. And if they know that their target is unarmed, then they feel safer in doing it. If they're afraid that their target may be armed as well, the coward in them will kick in and they won't do it. And so I believe, you arm the private population, let them carry if they wish. Uh, you're making society more safe because guns don't make people go and shoot people. And taking guns away, all that does is, you know, make people vulnerable. Yeah, that's what I think. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Because I know that my temper is under control enough that if I got an argument with somebody, I'm not going to pull up my gun and shoot them. I'm even headed enough, and I think most people are. There's people I agree should not be carrying guns, and I'm absolutely in favor of, you know, banning guns for convicted felons, for instance, or people who have a history of violence. Yeah, well, and that's the other half of it. Banning one particular kind of weapon doesn't prevent violence. And what's going on with knife attacks? What are they going to do now? Ban knives? Then people move to rocks. You can have my rock when you take it from my cold dead fingers. You can't ban everything that people are going to use to hurt each other with. The best thing you can do is if you have people that abuse the system and use it to hurt other people, then you need to put those people in prison. Another Biden commercial. Yeah, I do not endorse that. I saw that an ad popped up a minute ago, so that doesn't surprise me because I've seen a lot of them too. Every once in a while, I'll pull out one of my old videos and just watch it, and I have to watch the ad too. Well, after his disastrous debate performance, I think he will drop out. He doesn't want to, but there's that 27th Amendment provision that would enable the party to pull him out. And I think they want to try and because they realize that everybody sees this now. Yeah, I don't think Jill could be president either. No, I think what they're looking at, is trying to get like a Gavin Newsom in there, and that'd be a disaster. Look at what he's done for California. You want him doing that to the U.S.? I mean, we're already on that path. I don't think Whitmore has enough name recognition. Yeah, I heard that she told him that she thought he did great, that he was on top of it. He had all the answers. Like I don't know about Robert Kennedy. I don't know that much about him. He's a little bit more moderate, I think, than much of the Democrat Party. But I don't know. I do think it's disgusting that Joe Biden won't give Robert Kennedy Secret Service protection. After what happened to his family. Well, there is the 27th Amendment that would allow uh, key individuals of the party to vote to remove him. It was designed in case the president ever became incapacitated. They tried to use it on Trump because they want to make the argument that being a Republican is a mental illness, and that mental illness means you had to get out of. But Biden's the real one who needs to be. That's what they were thinking of. No, they don't. They don't want Kamala either. Is it okay? Maybe it is the 25th. It's one of those amendments is about. Yeah, that whole family is odd. Yeah, let's do a little learning activity here. Hang on, I'm gonna get a book I have. All right, let's look this up here and find out exactly what we're talking about here. This is a book I have called The Heritage Guide to the Constitution. And it's got the Constitution in it, and a lot of discussion about different parts here of it. 23rd, 24th. Because I want to read. Because what's really nice about this book is it has the Constitution and all the amendments in it, and then it has a bunch of people who are experts on the subject, kind of discussing what this all means and interpreting different parts of it. That's really good. Let's see, 24th. Okay, that was poll taxes. That was the 24th Amendment. Okay, so let's read the 25th Amendment here. Okay, Section 1: In the case of the removal of the president from office or of his death or resignation, the vice president shall become president. Okay, we know that. Section 2: When there's a vacancy in the office of the vice president, the president shall nominate a vice president who shall take office upon confirmation by the majority of vote of both houses of Congress. When the president transmits to the president pro temp of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives his written declaration that he is unable to discharge the power or duties of office until he transmits to them in written declaration to the contrary, such powers and duties shall be discharged to the vice president as acting president. Okay, let's see. After I want to actually get to the actual thing here. Okay, I think it's this last clause. Because there's something in here that's talking about how a sitting president can be removed if he becomes incapacitated. Okay, I'm gonna have to do more digging on that, but I like Tim Scott. Yeah, I'm wearing the my slippers today. See you, Gene. Thanks for stopping in. Always good to talk to you. Yeah, when I went off on my constitution, on my constitutional stuff, you all started talking to each other. Did I put my book in your sitting place by how rude of me? You gonna come up? Come on. Come on, buddy. I didn't think he's gonna come visit us. No, you haven't had a treat yet, have you? You want a treat? Stupid question, right? It's like asking, is water wet? You wonder why I get bit, right? Okay, that's enough. That's it. Off he goes. He got what he wants. Well, I want to continue on with this thing. I'm working on transforming this desk into another mineral display case. Basically, you can see I already got the shelves themselves built. I'm probably going to install them, and I'm going to light them up the same way I have the display case behind me done. So hopefully we'll get, that'll be a couple of vlogs that'll come up this week. Probably the first one will be tomorrow because I want to get, I started it actually last Tuesday. Spent most of the day doing it, but I didn't get enough content to do a whole vlog. So I got the wood shelves basically made, but I want to do more on that. I want to get it kind of fabricated, and then we got to stain it and then wire it up. And like I said, probably see a couple this week. That's sort of the nature of this. There may be weeks where I don't do any, or there may be weeks where I do 4 or 5 of them. When I go to Yellowstone, you're going to see a bunch of vlogs. Oh, are you talking about? Wait, sorry, you talking about that? That's just the chair of my desk, or the back of my desk chair. I love that '70s show. Great show. See you next time, Dot. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, it is. It is actually just the back of my desk chair. Yeah, I can see how it looks like a person though. It isn't. It's a chair. Could be. Yeah, I mean, we all know that teddy bear is haunted. I mean, look at those eyes. They winked at you? Okay. Ooh, spooky bear. One day I'm gonna put like a piece of fishing line on that you can't see, and then I'll pull it, off on the side, and the arm will move or something like that, and we'll see if anyone picks up on it. Need to put some Ray Bans on that. Yeah, that would be kind of funny, wouldn't it? Mhm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my pin number. Have a good day, Elvis. Bike ride sounds great today. Arrivederci to you too. Yeah, be safe. We like talking to you, not about you. That just means you're gonna have to pick up the slack, Darth. There's some kids outside across the street playing with bubbles. So I'm seeing bubbles flying around out there. Not so rare here. No, I still haven't watched that. I will at some point. Like I said, it's on Paramount Plus, and I got it saved as a favorite, so we'll watch it at some point. I just got to be in the mood for a Top Gun movie. And while I remember enjoying the original, I never really was into it enough where I went and bought a copy of it. I mean, everyone I've talked to said that Top Gun Maverick is a great movie. So, I will at some point. Just haven't yet. Okay, Stony says it isn't great. It's okay. All right. I don't know. I'll probably watch it at some point. My issue is I never really was that much of a Tom Cruise fan. Haven't been reading a lot lately. I got to get back in the habit. I got two books that I'm backlogged on that I've got that I haven't read. Well, I was just showing you my Heritage Guided Book of the Constitution. So, I mean, I didn't read that from cover to cover. That was more like a just a reference book I got. Yeah, I haven't seen Susan or Rhonda. Well, Rhonda, I think, is just working. Haven't seen Dr. Susan in a while. I don't know. I wonder if I said something to make her mad. Hope not. Truth is, I'm kind of boring sometimes, so maybe she just got bored, moved on. Maybe Rhonda too. Who knows? Well, Rhonda works a lot, and she'll get on the Facebook page and say, "Yeah, I couldn't be there today. I got called into work." And maybe she's out doing something with the family too. Maybe Jessica's, maybe she's home or something. Yeah, but you know, being offended is something that it's hard to predict what somebody's going to get offended by. You know, just about anything you say can be construed as being offensive by somebody. I try and keep it family friendly. Yeah, that's my experience too, Yvonne. This is a pretty good group. Oh, little countdown timer is appearing on the screen. Says that some of my viewers are about to see another advertisement. I'm guessing it'll be a Joe Biden ad. So we're about 8 seconds in the ad now. So if it's a Joe Biden ad, I do not endorse this guy. So yeah, don't vote for him. Yeah, I mean, I suppose I could do a Bucky's food vlog. And I had one of their brisket sandwiches or something like that once. It was all right. Dental implants, huh? Okay. I don't have any problem with dental implants. If you think if that's something you need and the company looks like the right answer to you, then you know what? I support that. But for those of you who saw a Joe Biden ad, yeah, here's the deal. He's a liar. He's a lying dog-faced pony soldier, whatever the heck that is. I mean, the guy's just weird. I don't get it. I got hairy legs. The hair turns yellow in the sun. The kids like to reach down to the pool and rub my leg hairs down and watch them pop back up. I like it when kids rub my my hairy legs. Like, dude, really? Did you just listen to yourself? Corn Pop was a bad dude. Yeah, showering with your daughter is bad too. Yeah, all the hair sniffing and saying inappropriate things to girls and women. Can't go into a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. That isn't racist. I hope the Supreme Court steps in. Anyone hear about this Chevron case with the Supreme Court? That is massive. Doesn't go as far as I'd like it to go, but there have been a couple of really important Supreme Court decisions recently. Yeah, yeah, I didn't want his kids to be raised in a racial jungle. Yeah, that's Biden. Wish I could be a debate moderator. I'd say, raise your hand if you've ever eulogized a Klansman. Sorry, Biden, you got to put your hand down, or you got to raise your hand, Biden. You called him a mentor. Well, the Chevron case isn't about the company Chevron. I think it was just called the Chevron case. It might have involved the company Chevron, but basically, it's precedent that was put into place about 40 years ago that said that in federal court cases uh, involving some plaintiff and an alphabet agency that's making rules and regulations, if there's a conflict there, that the federal courts had to yield to the expertise of what the three-letter agency, the EPA, the FDA, the FBI, the CIA, whatever, um, FAA, and yield to them as to what the specific rules are, which basically means these unelected bureaucracies can make all the rules they want. And then if there's a legal case, the court has to basically side with whoever the, with whatever the alphabet agency says the law means. And they said that's unconstitutional. Now, like I said, it doesn't go far enough. I would love it if the Supreme Court threw out every regulation that didn't come out of Congress. House of Representatives makes law, not some unelected bureaucrat. If I don't like a rule or a regulation that's come out of the EPA, who do I vote against? I can't get rid of them. In fact, I can't wait to hear what Mark Levin has to say about that. Can you imagine how big of a change it would be if they said that every rule and regulation imposed by a bureaucracy is null and void? And then, of course, you could just hear the Democrats screaming, you're dismantling the safety net that's keeping us all safe. It's like, well, if it's such an important thing, vote for it. Put it on a bill and run it through Congress. That way, if we, the people, don't like it, we can vote you out. But see, they don't want that. They know that most of their policies are unpopular and would never go anywhere. And so, they have plausible deniability. Well, we didn't do it. This bureaucracy did it. Yeah, I know, but you established a bureaucracy. Yeah, I can't listen to him live, but I listen to the podcast. It's funny, when I started doing these live streams, I avoided politics like the plague. Now we go into all this stuff all the time. It's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I just go to the Mark Levin Show podcast page. I got the Mark Levin Show app on my phone. No, not per se. I don't like sit down and watch C-SPAN or anything like that. I see clips and stuff like that. I've heard of him, but I don't think I've ever listened to him. I like Dan Bongino. He was a worthy replacement for Rush Limbaugh. And I've heard Chris Plant a couple times. I first started listening to Larry Elder when I'd be driving home from work when I worked in Los Angeles and lived in Orange County. And so Larry Elder had a huge influence on me. After that, it was Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity gets a little sanctimonious at times. But I've been listening to Mark Levin now for a long time. I liked Hannity for a long time and used to listen to him on the radio and watch watch his TV show when he was doing Hannity and Combs. That's actually how I became familiar with Mark Levin. Mark Levin was on that show promoting one of his books, his first book, Men in Black, and I got that book, and ever since then I've bought every book that Mark Levin has. He writes. Usually pre-order it the second it's available. Yeah, I remember. I remember the connection too. I thought the same thing when I first heard Men in Black. It's like, oh, I didn't know Mark Levin wrote that. But in that case, Men in Black was talking about the justice system and judges in black robes. Hey, Brack, how are you? Yeah, I kind of like the Men in Black movies too. Yeah, I know this is a Breck convention. Oh, I'm sorry, Breck. That's no fun. Our sympathies. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of that. Yeah, it's we're flirting with 100 degrees now. It's going to be 98, 99, and we're going to have a few 100-day weeks this coming week here. So good week to stay in. We're definitely in the summer now, but I'm hoping this isn't going to be like last couple summers where we've been just extreme drought all year. We had a really wet spring this year, and that was great. I hope I see one of the things I noticed last couple of years is that as far out as I could look in the weather forecast, there was no rain in the forecast. Prior to that, you'd get a little rain every week or week and a half or so, and that'd be really nice. And hopefully, we're back on that kind of a track this year. I don't know. I'm gonna go see if there's any parades nearby. I would think that downtown Waco would have one, but I don't know. We'll have to check it out. I don't know if I'll go see that fire truck parade that I've seen the last couple of years. It's like, okay, well, I saw that last year. Don't know what I'm going to do with the Fourth this year. In the past, I've gone to the Fourth and the Brazos festival, and a couple of years ago they had the Commodores there, and that was great. I'd never seen them play, and they were amazing. And last year it was some I don't remember who it was last year, but wasn't anybody I was really interested in seeing. And this year it's one of the former lead singers of Journey, but not the original one. It's some guy that took over after he left. So I don't know. We'll see what happens on the Fourth. I may not do a specific Fourth of July themed vlog this year. My Fourth of July theming is the fact that I have the American flag and the red, white, and blue lights up this year or this week. I think last year I live streamed that, the fire truck parade. Watch Star Wars on the 4th. That's more appropriate on May the 4th. Well, there's Bite. How's Bite, huh? Bite have anything to say? Yeah, that's something that's different with little parades that I've seen in Waco is uh, they tend to like throw candy for the kids, and that's kind of fun. Probably not. Nibble's probably hanging out in her room. The only way we get to see her these days is if I go into the room and stalk her in there. Yeah, they're not as freaked out by the clocks anymore. The cuckoo clock never really freaked them out, but the chiming of the antique clock and the grandfather clock, they weren't sure what to make of that. Yeah, Bite and Nibble are always kind of chilling. They got kind of a chilling lifestyle, don't you, Bite? Your life consists of finding a new place to take a nap, eating, and pooping, right? That's all you do. Sleeping, eating, and pooping. I think that's going to be the title of my biography. No, I leave the clocks on all the time. They're far enough away, from my bedroom that, I sometimes hear them, but, they don't wake me up at night. See, my mom never used to have the antique clock running in her apartment. She said it was too loud for the apartment. It's fine for this place because this is a big, huge room, and then my bedroom's a long ways away. So yeah, doesn't that sound like a good idea for a biography title? Yeah, that's why I thought it'd be a good name for a biography, Darth. See, that's what I mean about keeping it G-rated. I said pooping. I could have easily said something else. And rocking, yeah, that's true. This is one of my new acquisitions here. Kind of a cool purple rock called Grave Agate. I've been looking at this in the rock store for probably a month or two, and I knew I had to take that home with me. And it was always just a question of whether someone else grabbed it. But fortunately, these people seem to focus a lot on crystals and stuff like that. And so that's what most of their customers are. So, some of the just raw mineral pieces, and you know, they tend to stay there for a while, but they know eventually. I tell them things I'm into, and they find things that are interesting to me. I guess they probably have a few people, but a lot of the stuff they're looking for are like healing crystals and meditation crystals, and it's like I'm not really into a lot of that metaphysical stuff. I just like the look of an interesting rock like that. That's kind of an interesting rock. Look at all the crystals and stuff like that in that. Or this piece. That's kind of fun too. Look at all the square cubic crystals in that thing. Yeah, I like some of the green rocks too. Let's see, I got this thing. This thing's kind of cool. Look at that. It almost looks like little animals or plants or something on there, but that's actually a crystal. No, don't have a quartz crystal yet. How do they sauce them? Do you mean source them? Yeah, I know. It looks like fossils. It looks like animals, but it's a crystal. And then this thing's pretty cool. The bling on that. Oh, another Biden ad. My name is Breck Roll, and I do not endorse Joe Biden. Yeah, they go to like wholesalers and get some of the rocks that they've gotten for me. In fact, there's a point now that they say this all the time that there's that they have just certain customers that they know what they like, and so they'll be looking at something in a wholesale and say, "Oh, I bet you Breckel like that." In fact, um, Kara started sending me messages in Facebook. Uh, when she sees something she thinks I might like and ask if I want it. Let's see here. Because, for instance, she sent me that picture and I ended up getting that one. So she got that for me. She got that for me. Oops, gotta get it there. I got that piece now. And this is a piece that she is going to get for me at some point. This one's really beautiful, but she hasn't managed to get it down from the wholesaler yet. But look at all those rocks in the background on that. That's the kind of place that they go for getting some of this stuff. In fact, sometimes they shut down the store so they can go up to their wholesaler. Yeah, happy 4th of July, everyone. Wow, we're at 2 hours already. This one went fast. But that's what makes these live streams fun, right? Yes, it does. Yeah, I know. I've been sitting in this chair for 2 hours now. Pretty wild. They don't have an official online store, but they have a Facebook page. It used to be, they'd call it Gallery 11 Crystals Flash Sales, but they've changed it to, I think, Gallery 11 VIP or something like that. And they're back to, just putting crystals and stuff on that page. And if you're interested in it, you can say, yes, I want that. And then you can, go buy it from them or whatever. And I don't know if they ship or not. Let's see if I can find my groups page here. Nope, not that. Not the flash sales. Yeah, that's the VIP one. They don't sell the dog. That's Lucy. I keep threatening that sometime I'm going to bring Jordan and Jaw over to that place. That's some of the stuff they do. Those are, I guess, authentic butterfly wings that they put into jewelry. And some kind of cool pendants and stuff like that. Labradorite pendant. That's kind of cool. Like I said, I'm not really into, the shape stuff. And see, that's what they're doing. They're doing a lot of these shaped things. Not really into that much. Little crystals on a chain like that. They do a lot of like crystals and stuff like that. I'm not really that much into that. You like the jewelry? Yeah, check them out. It's called, what's the page called here? Gallery 11 Crystals and Jewelry and hyphen and VIP. So go search that page. Called that right there. And I'm a member of it. And you don't need any more jewelry. Okay. Too much now. Yeah. I know people like that. You might be able to say the same thing about me and rocks, but I do need more of that. Not too much. So much so that I'm about to turn that thing into a display case. So yeah, I'm planning more expansion. We're going to get more pieces. It couldn't hurt to mention me when you buy. I mean, they give me great deals on things all the time. Well, that's part of what's cool about this company. Kara is kind of the rock and crystal person, and Chris, her husband, is a jeweler. So he makes probably all those things with the butterfly wings and the pendants and stuff like that. He probably made all that. So those are all like one-offs. He's very talented. I've seen some really cool things. He was actually the one that kind of got me interested in this piece. Get the cat hair off of it. And I'm very, very happy to have that as part of my collection because that's really cool just because of what it is. Yeah, you could do that. Maybe get some people on the Facebook page to buy your stuff. No, you don't want to. You don't want to sell. I get that. I mean, I post all this stuff online too, but I have no intention of selling it. This will be at some point. This will be part of the estate sale, and it'll be a massive rock collection that somebody can pick up. You might find if you did Darth's idea of doing a vlog isn't necessarily a bad idea. You might find that you get some people that watch and say, "Hey, can you make this for me? Hey, can you make that for me?" I don't know. Maybe you don't want to do that. That's cool. Yeah, if you just like making stuff for yourself, then so be it. But if you want to post some pictures on the Facebook page, go for it. Yeah, it'd be like the Home Shopping Network. Today we have an Yvonne Buckley original. There you go. All right, we're going to see some stuff on the Facebook page. So check it out if you're on the Facebook page. If not, get on the Facebook page. I have a little inside track with the moderators, so I can probably get you in. Do or do not. There is no try. All right, Star Wars lines. I love it. Oh, now he's doing Picard. Okay, well, I've gone past the 2 hours here. I want to get going on the vlog today. Continue working on my new mineral case because the old mineral case is already full. That's how weird how that works sometimes. So I'm gonna pull the plug on this one. Thanks everyone. Had a good time today. I'll see you next week. Good night.